Good morning, I'm Nate Hudson with Ozark Radio News. I am here with West Plains Schools Superintendent.
Dr. Lori Wilson.
Dr. Lori Wilson. So
Yes.
Dr. Wilson, is that?
I would prefer Lori.
Lori, all right. Well, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So, last night, school board workshop meeting, some big information came out. What would you like to tell us about it?
It did. Well, first of all, I want to say we're going to be in school. There was rumors going around with the transmission rate and positivity rate in our county going up. Are we going to be in school? Yes, we're going to be in school. Unfortunately, we have different rules this year that we have to play with or play within. Last year we had the option if we had quite a few quarantines to be able to go hybrid or to go shut down a school for 2 weeks. We do not have those options this year. So there's been some changes, and so that's one of the reasons that we had to really have a discussion on masking and coming back to school.
So, when it comes to the school and mask,
Yes.
how is that going to work out? Kids come in, or let's say the kids go to get on the bus. At what point do they have to start wearing a mask throughout the school day?
Okay, the decision made last night was that we would mask kindergarten through 12th grade, as well as all teachers, staff, and faculty members. It is a federal mandate that people mask on public transportation. And I don't think a lot of people know that. And school buses and school transportation is considered public transportation. So it is a federal mandate that they mask. So we will have disposable masks available for all students as they get on the bus, and we will give them their mask. And then when they get to school, they are required to keep that mask on all day long. Now, there will be cases of when we have PE, or they go out to recess, or at lunch. So it's not that they have their mask on all day. There are times that you obviously cannot wear a mask. But then when they get back on the bus, they'll have to make sure and have their mask on. We are right now requiring masking during the school day and on buses, and not at after-school events or practices, because those are extracurricular and optional for students to attend. This, and I'll throw this in there, this is a way to keep, and basically the only way to keep our kids in school for extended periods of time. If we are not masked, if our students are not masked, then if they are a close contact at school to someone who's positive, they will quarantine for 14 days. And if we have masks on, we get to keep them in school.
That is a lot more acceptable. So, you'd mentioned the online classes, the
Yes.
hybrid classes. Are those not an option this year?
They're an option this year. Now, hybrid is not, because as a district, 7th through 12th grade, we went hybrid last year. That's not an option. But there's always an option for students to take online classes, or we are working at the elementary to see how many students actually want to have an online class or virtual. We're still playing with the numbers there to see if we need to provide a teacher. Right now, we do not need to provide a teacher for virtual learning for the elementary. But if the numbers grow, then we will obviously look at that and try to accommodate.
All right. When it comes to the mask, a lot of people are out there buying school supplies right now. What kind of masks are acceptable? Is it just N95s and the normal mask, or shields?
Right now, shields, that's not an option. The N95, you don't have to have that. We need something that covers their mouth, covers their nose. Definitely not a t-shirt or something like that. And we have on our website from last year the types of masks that they need to have, and we'll make sure we have that out there again.
All right. So when it comes to, say, worst comes to worst, and it's a kid has to quarantine.
Yes, sir.
How is that going to work, especially if they have to quarantine multiple times throughout the year?
We're hoping if everyone is wearing their mask, they will not have to do that. That is the reason for the mask, that they're not quarantined because of a close contact at school. Now, there will be quarantines from, and I want to make sure that everybody understands that we do not issue the quarantines, the health department issues the quarantines. But there will be quarantines from students that attend a function on the weekend and they're a close contact, and then they will have to quarantine. And right now, we have an alternative method of instruction plan, and they will be able to receive videos from their teachers. They'll be able to receive information on homework and on lessons through Google and through our Google Classroom. So we are actually making plans that if there's students that have to have multiple quarantines or just one, 10 days is too many days. 10 to 14 is too many days to be out of school. And we need to make sure that we're doing everything we can to educate them while they're in quarantine.
I'm very glad to hear that personally. So, is it a possibility that infections, especially with the Delta variant being as rough as it is on kids,
right,
is it possible that the school could go through another shutdown?
Right now, the only way that we can have a shutdown as of this moment, now, as I said last night, and I'll say it again, 24 hours things could change. How fast things are changing. Right now, the only availability for a shutdown is through, it's another version of the alternative method of instruction. I don't know if anybody remembered last year but we were able to use some of the snow days as instruction days. If we had to, we could shut a school down for 36 hours and have that availability from our Department of Secondary and Elementary Education. Now, like I said, things could happen, and just as we never thought last year we'd be allowed to go hybrid or we'd be allowed to shut down for 2 weeks. If the variant gets stronger and we see massive quarantines throughout the state and children getting the virus and being positive, anything can happen.
There are a lot of people out in our community that do not like masks, do not want to wear them.
Right.
What is going to happen when a child or a child's parent refuses the mask, refuses to put a mask on?
We will have some strong conversations with the parent, and then we will say, okay, there's another option. We can go virtual or we can go online.
All right.
We will have multiple options like that for all children.
Well, it's certainly good to hear that there are options, that we are going to get our kids back in education for the 2021-2022 school year.
That is the goal. I want to have them in school, not only from an academic, but from social and emotional. It is hard for our students to stay home 10 days or 14 days and then come back and think you could possibly be quarantined again. We need to do everything we can to keep them in school.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Lori.
Lori's fine.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
I just appreciate all the support that we've had, and everyone knows that they're rough decisions, but I can honestly say trying to make every decision to keep kids in school.
All right, well, thank you so much. This is Nate Hudson with Ozark Radio News.